Welcome to the Arasta channel. In this video, I will explain the story of the Donghua series Swallowed Star, Season 2, Episode 84. In the previous episode, we were shown how brave Hong and Leishan were when they dared to face the golden horned behemoth head-on. Even though they are aware that their winning rate is very low, that doesn't scare them. After using different ways in the fight, in the end both of them were able to make a hole in the monster's body. Even after the two of them entered the golden horn's body and attacked it from the inside. They also made the creature lose all signs of life. Did the golden horned behemoth really die in the fight at that time? Instead of getting curious, we'll just move on with the story. After the golden horned behemoth's death, intensity decreased significantly. In the end, the creature's life rate dropped to 0%, followed by the creature's body, which suddenly petrified in the sky and was pulled back by the Earth's gravity. The good news about the loss of intensity in the golden horned behemoth's life was immediately conveyed to the public by the newscaster. This of course caused many civilians who received this news to be very happy. Because finally they can now live as normal the next day because the golden horn has died. Of course, they were overjoyed at the victory achieved by mankind. On the other hand, Tripathi Singh wondered, was this golden horn behemoth really dead? Expressing his opinion, Eastbourne also said that before the monster loses its soul and body completely, they can still feel happy first. However, Hong and Leishan have yet to be identified. Are the two of them also dead? According to Yao Rao, Hong, and Leishan, who are the strongest warriors on Earth, the two of them would not die that easily in this battle. She believes that both of them are still worthy of life.
在将他的肉体和灵魂彻底消灭前，光巨兽不能用地球常识来判断。
不能活下来，一定。
After conveying the good news, the news announcer then continued to bring sad news. He conveyed that even in this battle, the golden horned behemoth was already considered dead. But humanity unfortunately also had to lose two of the strongest warriors on Earth, namely Leishan and Hong, whom we also consider to have died here because the signs of their breath of life were no longer detectable. The sad news of their deaths made them heroes who had saved the world by sacrificing themselves.
沉痛的消息，我们现在探测拯救了全世界的英雄。
Here I noticed the expressions of Elder Yen Hai and Atkin. It seemed they were happy with the news about Hong and Leishan's death incident. Exactly what plan do they follow next? If you know what it is, please respond in the comments section. This sad news also made Luo Feng start to feel sad and uneasy. But before Luo Feng could continue his sorrow, Bada mentioned that Hong and Leishan were not necessarily dead, because the detection device for the breath of life that exists on Earth and is known to be obtained from the ruins of that ancient civilization has its own detection ranges. That is, when there is someone whose breath of life is below a critical number, the tool will no longer be able to detect it. Which meant that even though Hong and Leishan had now undetectable breath of life, there was a possibility that they were still alive. But their current condition is very weak. Bada said that since Hong and Leishan were Star Traveler level fighters who could use domains, even they could no longer use common sense to decide whether they would live or die. Associated with not being able to use common sense. This also applies to the golden horn behemoth, where, unexpectedly, the creature is again experiencing signs of life with the intensity of its life increasing again. It's really crazy and totally unexpected. Then, we'll see a soul core inside the golden horned behemoth's body, which is still alive. And the monster's soul core starts sending energy to all of its body cells. And slowly, there were more and more signs that the golden horned was alive. And after reaching 30%, the intensity of life no longer increases. Then the golden horn behemoth's body that fell from the sky also petrified in the air again and didn't make any sign of movement at all. A thunderstorm accompanied by overcast clouds also added to the tension as all warriors witnessed the moments of the rise of the golden horn behemoth from the dead. From the body of the giant golden horned, you can also see Hong and Lei Shin, who fell out of the monster's body and are now unconscious. The two of them also seem to be holding each other's hands very tightly. Since the Nirvana era, it is said that Hong and Lei Shin have led mankind and tried to get them out of a slump. The many battles that the two have gone through have made their friendship truly strong. They even share life and death with each other. After seeing the two of them, Bada was even more sure that Hong and Lei Shin were still alive. And both of them only experience one thing, which is that the soul is asleep. Bada explained that the sleeping state of the soul is a state of suspended animation that a warrior at the immortal level would normally go through when the warrior was seriously hurt. After entering this state of soul sleep, most people can wake up again after 1 or 2 years. In one case, a warrior had to stay in this state for millions of years before he could wake up. Bada thought that Hong and Lei Shin might never be able to wake up from this state because they were only Star Traveler level warriors. Meanwhile, Hong and Lei Shin, who had fallen, were finally seen by the Golden Horn Behemoth, which immediately went after them. Both of them are now unconscious, which makes this a very dangerous situation. But before the creature used its fangs to torture Hong and Lei Shin, 2 Silverstream human robots, or what can be called silver humans, showed up at that very moment. When the 2 robots merged into one, his body size immediately grew to the size of a giant. This robot continues to stop the Golden Horn Behemoth's ambush, which is getting weaker. The robot behind him caught Hong and Lei Shin, then split into 2 to hold off the Golden Horned, while the other evacuated Hong and Lei Shin away from the battle site. Bada said that this silver human guard didn't have a lot of attack power, and its speed was still slower than that of Hong and Lei Shin. However, it has a liquid-like body that can be quickly spread apart at will, spreading the liquid to all parts of the Golden Horn's body and forming it like a net that wrapped around the fish. This way, the Golden Horn Behemoth would be temporarily unable to do anything, because his body was now constrained by the sticky liquid. After being wrapped up, the Golden Horn Behemoth, which was now trapped by the fluid of the net, fell into the water. Luo Feng, who had just seen what happened, immediately called Zhao Rao to check on Hong and Lei Shin, who were on their way to the central hospital. Luo Feng said he would not go straight to the central hospital, because he still has things to do.
有一件事，我们要去见一个人。
We will then be taken to a place where we can see a woman with a picture of Lei Shin. Not long ago, Luo Feng came with Inspector Lei Meng, who came to see him to give him something and tell him the sad news about what had happened to Lei Shin. After the meeting was over, this woman cried when she went back to her room. Who exactly is this woman, and what is her relationship to Lei Shin? In the middle of Luo Feng's and Lei Meng's way home, Mr. Lei Meng also said that the woman they had just met was Lei Shin's only daughter and that her name was Xiaolai. It is said that the two of them did not get along very well, which is why the daughter of the god of thunder no longer wanted to meet her father. But even though they hadn't seen each other in a long time, as a father, Lei Shin always thought of his daughter. Before the deadly battle against the Golden Horn Behemoth, Lei Shin recorded a message that was put on a chip that Lei Shin had given to Luo Feng, who was now in charge of sending it. It had been 16 years since they had seen each other, but Lei Shin could still remember every detail of the times they had spent together. It was also found that the reason the two of them separated was because they did not approve of their daughter's relationship with a man. In the end, the daughter decided to run away from home and marry a man who did not have the blessing of the god of thunder. Even though they didn't talk to each other for 16 years, Lei Shin always kept an eye on his daughter's health from afar. In the recording, Lei Shin also said that he would soon fight together with Hong and that after that, it would be hard for them to talk again. for this would be a battle between life and death.
小磊，现在已经是你丈夫了吧？之后，该死的怪兽，伤害到你的。走了。
Halfway through his journey, Luo Feng also received a call from Commander Jiai, where the commander had just seen the silver human robot that brought Hong and Lei Shin earlier, and thought of using it against the golden horn behemoth. Luo Feng replied that if it can't be done because the silver human is not good at carrying out attacks, but Luo Feng would let Jiai's will, which asked to make a silver human a public necessity, prevail. And it will be used to raise the morale level of civilians later. Because humanity still needs hope, even if it is a very vain hope. Deceiving the public would also be done in a hopeless situation like now. The information was then disseminated to the general public via broadcasting. That 2 giant silver humans are the most recent technology developed collaboratively by several countries. The emergence of these robots increased civilian life expectancy slightly. Despite the fact that it was all wishful thinking, humanity will live as long as there is a glimmer of hope. That's what Lei Meng told Luo Feng. Because Luo Feng was now the most powerful warrior on the planet. In the future, Luo Feng, who already has the authority to lead all warriors on Earth in a battle that will determine humanity's survival, Lei Meng asked Luo Feng to accompany him to the battlefield because the base's condition was unfavorable, and it was obvious that it would not last much longer. Luo Feng then returned to his family to say his goodbyes. For Lei Meng, the palace of the god of war will not fall until all the warriors have been defeated. Luo Feng then arrived home. He could see Luo Feng in the residence, his face filled with anxiety and worry as he watched the news footage showing the dire conditions that various countries were in. Moreover, Luo Feng then carried the heaviest burden because he had now become the strongest warrior on Earth. Not long ago, a Babata appeared and advising Luo Feng not to worry too much. Not to mention Luo Feng, who had also done very well in the face of the inevitable calamity brought by the Golden Horned. Because it was naturally impossible for such a being to be stopped by a mental master warrior of the Star Traveler level like Luo Feng. Babata also said that a Golden Horned behemoth with a high-level bloodline would only need 1 or 2 days to get back to its prime condition. In the meantime, humanity's side was at a big disadvantage. Because they now no longer have a way to be able to deal with these monsters, the extinction of the human race on Earth is no longer inevitable.
已经没有任何抵御它的办法，灭绝是必然的，恢复巅峰不过是1-2天的事。星角巨兽本来就不是你一个行星级。
Babata said desperate things to Luo Feng with a specific goal in mind. Where Babata will tell Luo Feng that he should leave the planet. This is possible because Babata can still fix the Black Dragon Mountain spaceship Type X-81. It would be a plane that could take Luo Feng all over the universe. Babata says that instead of running away, but should focus on staying alive. It can also allow humanity to avoid complete extinction. Even Luo Feng was also allowed to bring Xu Xin and his family into the universe. However, Luo Feng resolutely rejected Babata's offer outright. Because he had decided that he would continue to fight until the last moment as a member of the Palace of the God of War. Because it was a mission he had to carry out. After seeing how emotional Luo Feng was, Babata said that human emotions were a very vulnerable element. Always struggling against obstacles without thinking about the consequences they have to accept. With this kind of thinking, humans will not be able to survive in the universe. This and that were different according to Luo Feng, who was slightly exerting his mental strength. For Luo Feng, survival was not only about physical strength, there was also a mentality to it. And when a warrior has made the decision to defect, it means that he is mentally dead. This shows that Luo Feng really has a very high spirit of nationalism. After that, Babata also told a little that he had lived for 60,000 years since she was created by Master Huyan Bo in the past. Bada has also witnessed the ups and downs of the civilizations of countless races in the universe. From this also Bada realized, be it star meteorites, immortal level warriors, or even the Earth, everything is just a speck of dust in the vast universe.
创造了我已经存在了6000万年强大的不朽强者。你所谓的精神。
And the mentality that Luo Feng mentioned was still incomparable to Babada's tens of thousands of years of life experience. Therefore, no matter what happened next, Babada would not just let Luo Feng die. Furthermore, only Luo Feng was the person who deserved to inherit the meteorite star's inheritance after so many years of patiently waiting for 50,000 years.
无论如何，我都不能让你死，不值一提。 在千万年的时光面前，你知不知道？我守候了5万年才等到你这样。
Even though Babada persuaded Luo Feng, it wasn't enough to change Luo Feng's heart. He still wouldn't leave the earth and the people who lived on it just like that.
我其实就是地球这粒灰尘上的。
And that's the end of this episode. In this 84th episode, the story is packed full of drama and makes the audience sad if you watched the original video. Okay, thank you so much for watching my video to the end. If you like this video, please support my channel by clicking like, leaving a comment, and subscribing so that this channel can grow. See you next my video, bye.